afternoon, everybody. Let me fix my live. Let me fix this outlet. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon to you. Hello there. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. The other day, I came on live and I started to broadcast for my podcast. And then I realized, because the audience started interacting with the podcast, I realized I needed to start from this question. Can a woman raise a man? Can a woman raise a man? In the USA, the males, they say, a woman cannot raise a man. That's what they say in the USA. All these males, that's what they go around saying. They keep saying it. A woman cannot raise a man. A woman cannot raise a man. Okay. So, if a woman cannot raise a man, where is it that a man comes from? When a man is just born, is he not a man? Is he not a male? So that's the beginning of the premise that doesn't make any sense to me when they say, well, a woman cannot raise a man. Okay, so the first thing that women do is that we birth these boys, these males, these infants. We birth them. We raise them from being tiny specks to being an infant, a baby. We raise those males in our wombs. And then we are faced with the question of, can a woman raise a man? The question itself, it becomes deficient. The question itself should not even be asked. So the fact that this is a major issue in the USA tells us how the people we are dealing with have no logic. Welcome to my podcast. I record on this channel for my podcast every now and then. My podcast is blackmentonic.com. You can find it on iTunes. We also have a YouTube channel that I need to feed more, so I'm developing the podcast. Welcome to Black Men Tonic. The purpose of my podcast is to heal black males in the USA are in need of healing. With the criticism, with the judgment that I speak about, with the discussion, through all of that comes the healing. What motivated me to do a podcast for males, what motivated me to do a podcast for healing males is the pure fact that I birth males. Like, for the pure fact that males come from women like me. Women give birth to males. So if we can give birth to these males, we can heal them. We can raise them. I imagine if there were something like, if a male infant was left with a bunch of baboons, I imagine the baboons would raise that male infant into a man. I imagine a man can come out of any good situation. So if the situation is ruined, whether that boy is being raised by a male, whether that boy is being raised by a female, if the situation is toxic, there will be no ethical men out of the situation. So in the USA, we are having a problem that we shouldn't even be having. And that's why the USA is a mental trap, because it occupies the mind with problems that should not even be there. Because I come from a culture, because that is verified. There's what it is about verification. I'm going to segue on what it is that verification means. Verification means when you open your Facebook account, they verify your email address. You got to verify to exist on that social platform. Verification means when Twitter wants to verify your email address. Verification means when YouTube wants you to verify with a credit card, with a bank account, just to be able to conduct monetary transactions on YouTube. That is verification. So we are dealing with the culture of the USA that has not yet been verified. For a culture to be verified, it has to go over 1,000 years. Because they are phenomena. They are things that happen with Mother Nature, who is the dictator of it all. Mother Nature, there are things that happen only about every 200 years, every about 400 years. For your culture to verify, your ancestors have to have witnessed those situations, and they have to have left notes instructions for the future of their culture on how to deal with nature's phenomena. See? So the USA is not a verified culture. We are building, this is a new culture, it's a brilliant culture. The African American in the USA manifesting the culture is a brilliant leader at it in a way that it makes special effects. The African American is brilliant at that. So you guys are doing great in the special effects department. We cannot deny, like I said to you, my culture, I come from a culture that is verified. So in my culture, there was a saying, it says, you can hit the dog, but you have to admit it has white teeth. You can hit a dog as much as you want, but you must admit it has good canine, like what the blouse and skirt. You got to admit, and you have to give people the credits of their life, the credits that they've earned. So that is the segue that I wanted to take in terms of verification. For a culture to verify, that culture has to have lasted over 1,000 years, because it's not what I say. When I do Black Men Tonic, when I do the Haitian Voice, it is with Mother Nature as the dictator of logic. And logic is the universal currency that we all speak. Logic is the unit of mathematics that we all understand. Your logic and my logic are the same, okay? Ben Stada, welcome to the channel. Your logic and my logic are the same. There is no different logic for you and I. When logic differs, it's because Mother Nature requires it to differ, okay? So, because this culture has not even verified 500 years. So how can you know everything? So let's go back to the males, because in the USA there is an argument that women cannot raise. This argument should not even be happening. When a man brings that argument, I look at a beta. I look at you like I really look at you in terms of what parts of you can I salvage. That brings this situation to me. When a man tells me that a woman cannot raise a man, I look at you as if you were broken pieces of things, and maybe I can salvage some of it, maybe I cannot. You know, there is no other way for me to look at you, because when you make a statement like that, a lot of males, when they make statements like that to women like me, they think they are shocking women like me. You're not shocking me. You are letting me into a part of your mind that is defective. You should be ashamed that I'm into your mind. And as I'm into your mind, I'm looking at the rotten part of your mind. And for you, you think it's brilliant. You think it's great. You think this is how to be. You know what I mean? But it's not how to be. It is not brilliant. It is not great for you to walk around. It's like a woman walking around wearing dirty underwear outside of her clothes, and everybody's walking around and they're looking at the dirty underwear and they're like, oh, and for her, it's like she's walking around and it's great, it's wonderful. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. But for the rest of us who are looking at it, it's not great, it's not wonderful, it's not beautiful. I just got my license, Barracuda. I just graduated. Look at it. Y'all see it? And that's nice. So to continue what I'm saying, guys, I just saw it in the camera. I'm like, what is that in my hair? And then I saw it. As I was saying, in the USA, the males, when they speak to women like me, and they say things like, women cannot raise men, and when they say that, immediately, when you speak to me like that, because you came to speak to me with the note of 100. When you open your mouth and you speak to me like that, I take that 100 and I drop it to 80. I take away 20 points from your manhood. You are no longer a man, you are a male. You are a male child in the promised land. You are no longer, you're a fiction of Claude McKay. I think that's the guy who would. You're a fiction of his imagination. At that moment, you decrease in value to me. Like, there's this one guy in my life, and this one man in my life, and then one day he told me that, and at that moment he no longer became a man in my life. He became a male child, because a man is a person just like a woman is a person. A man has to follow the laws of logic just like a woman has to follow the laws of logic. When a man opens his mouth and he says that, immediately he is admitting that he's not following the laws of logic. certain, like, one of the reasons why people in the USA, one of the reasons why the people who lose touch with logic, one of the reasons why that happens is because they also lose touch with working with Mother Nature. Like, for people who work the land, for farmers, they understand that certain terrain, certain pieces of land cannot grow. You can raise up and down, you can fertilize it, you can make it, you can turn it into, you can produce no soil to put in that land. You can remove it, so then it will do that. But then if you remove that soil, then you're not dealing with that soil. So you see, some soil cannot grow anything. So just as some soil cannot grow anything, some humans, because of their defectiveness of the quality of that human, those humans will not be able to grow anything. But so it has nothing to do with women, men. It has to do with humans. Some humans, so in the USA, they say a woman cannot raise a man. Okay. In some instances where the communities are so far into defectiveness, yes, they cannot raise men, they cannot raise women, they cannot raise cats, they cannot raise dogs. They cannot raise anything because that community is defective. So if a woman's womb is barren, she's not fertile, she cannot raise anything in there. So when a community is not fertile, when a community is barren, it cannot raise anything. It will raise defective men, it will raise defective women, cats, dogs, whatever. So that's the state of that community. It won't be able to raise men. So it has nothing to do with women raising men. Like, you have some parts of the world where every man is raised by a woman. But in the USA, it cannot be done. Why it cannot be done in the USA? Because this is becoming a discussion to deny women the quality of womanhood. It's a discussion to distract women from what we should be caring about. It's a discussion to distract. So this is where the healing comes in. Because the other day I started doing a discussion and I was talking about what a man is, but before I can even talk about what a man is, I had some trolls jumping on my live, like Ben Stada, and they were talking about, well, you cannot speak about what a man should do. You cannot speak about how a man feel. What a man feel, how a man feel, I couldn't care on that topic because that's not what I'm talking about. So for somebody to say, well, you cannot talk about how a man feel, well, I'm not. I'm not talking about how you feel. I can talk about how a dog feels. I can talk about how a cat feels. Maybe not. How do I know? Unless I have, the cat is in front of me and the cat is like, and then I'm like, well, why is this cat whining? If the dog is in front of me and the dog is like, ooh, I'm like, well, why is this dog howling? When the males or the men listen to women with logic, don't know how to deal with it, they try to discredit the woman. They try to tell you, well, you cannot speak about how a man feels. Well, I'm not. I'm speaking about what men do. I'm speaking about the actions and how to heal these actions because the actions are negative. I'm talking about the things that come out of your mouth and how the things you say, they open the windows to your cranium. And I can see rotten, gray matters. I no longer see gray matters. I can see brown, whitish, with white worms, brown dookie matter in your brain. So it's either white worms, the gray matters have turned into white worms, or they have turned into dookie brown. So, like, when a man says that, I take it again as another reason now not to trust you. You see, this is how the healing comes in, because if every man was thinking about it that way, if you were thinking about it this way, like when I open my mouth and I say this, it's going to make me look bad. But that's exactly what it does to a woman with logic. So now when you say that to a woman who's talking as much as you are, because the males have become super talkative for no reason, they just chatter to distract us from what they really have to do. The men have a job to do. You have a job to do. So when you want to distract women from your real job, which is go get it, all right, because you can't get it for some reason, the get it is becoming, you've gotten get. You've been the prey. You've been the food. So when a man is living his life as food and a woman is existing her life eating or existing her life not as food, the coexistence is not going to happen because these are two different beings. So when a man says that women cannot raise men, number one, this is where the healing comes in. Listen, number one, when you say women cannot raise men, number one, you open your own mind to where you are confessing that your mind is rotten, that you don't have logic. Because any negative situation cannot raise any men. Any negative situation cannot raise any woman. It will raise males, it will raise females, it will raise waste of skin, it will raise riffraffs, but it will not raise men. So when you say that, you open your mind to where you have no logic. Because if you had any logic, you would understand that any situation that is deficient will not be able to raise such a man. And so for that man to happen, he's going to have to step out of that deficient situation and maybe find something else. But if all that male has is deficient situation, he's not going to be able to be raised. All right? So that's the number one thing you do. And the second thing that you say, the males, and then you say, well, women don't have a right to speak about how a man feels. Okay. I'm not speaking about how a man feels. I'm also not speaking about how a dog feels. I'm also not speaking about how a rabbit feels. But if I see a rabbit come in my yard, and I used to have rabbits come in my yard when I lived in Jersey, and they would eat all the flowers. So I would be like, what a greedy rabbit. I can use adjectives because at that moment, what the rabbit did, the actions that the rabbit did, it proved it to be greedy. And it proved it to ruin, it really ruined the flowers, and it did. You can see what the rabbits did. So when I speak about the actions, you have to look at your actions. Not that I'm a woman, because in the truth of logic, in the truth of wisdom, let's say you had a headache. Let's say you had a headache, and the person who could cure your headache was 5 years old. Would you say, well, a 5-year-old should not cure a headache? So when a man speaks like that, he opens up his own self to where any woman with logic, any woman with wisdom will look at you as a weak person, a weak baby who doesn't have logic yet. Maybe you have a bunch of people around you who are just like you, who don't have logic just like you. Maybe that's what you have, but you don't have logic. So we are seeing a situation where these males, they don't have logic, but they want to keep talking. Because when they talk, it's a bunch of weak males out there. It's a bunch of deficient males out there. So when they see another one talking, instead of them to admit, listen, what he's saying is not right, because I know I'm not right. I know something is wrong with me. He runs to the deficient male, 5 run together, 10 run together, and they become a gang and they become powerful. Any power, like this is not powerful. This by itself is not powerful. This by itself is not powerful. This by itself is not powerful. But these together, they are powerful. And let me tell you, they've done damage. Together, they can do it. But let me tell you something. When it's by itself, it doesn't have any power. So even if you're weak, even if your logic is defective, but if you get together with 10 other men with the same defective logic, then all of a sudden you become powerful. Then that's how I'm seeing when the men are joining in camaraderie, when the men are joining and they're saying that they are going for male bonding, but what you are seeing, especially on the parts of the heterosexual males, what you are seeing, even though they say they are men, but it's because they are gathered together with other males who are as defective as they are. So they all believe the same thing. Then if we all believe it, then it's right. But you all believe it because you all came from the same defective programming. How can the USA be a fertile ground for manhood? Look at it. People are expecting positivity, or people are expecting this ground to bear fertile fruits. You'll find patches of fertility, but the ground overall cannot bear fertile fruits. For you to expect that, you are ruining yourself because you're expecting something that will never happen. Okay? So can a woman speak on male issues? Absolutely. Especially when the males are defective. And because it is known, it is logically known, Mother Nature has proven this over and over, males should not be talkative. Real men should not be talking too much. Okay? Real men do not talk too much. Real men do not tatter. And guess what? In the USA, and we can see the proof of it on YouTube, look at all these males telling women what to eat, how to act, how to wear your hair. That's not a man's job. So when the men don't know how to do the men's job, they reach for our work. They reach to take us down as if to say, well, let me tell you what to do, but it's not your job to tell a woman how to be a woman. Let me tell you what to wear. Let me tell you what to put on your eyelashes. Let me tell you what to put on your hair. But that's not the job of a man to tell me what to put on my hair, to tell me what to eat, to tell me how to take care of my vagina. That is not the job of a male, of a man. So that's the healing. The healing is that you have to step back into your men chambers. You have to step back into your men characterization. You cannot overstep what a woman is supposed to do for herself. If a woman is not doing it for herself at the moment, okay, she'll figure it out with the women around her. And if they never figure it out, then that's the problem with the women at the time. They never figure it out. You got to go back. You have to be brave enough to go back into the issues of your manhood. Don't wealth, including number one responsibility. Wealth is the number one responsibility on that list. So when you cannot get wealth, when you cannot gather wealth, when you cannot gather the essentials, you think you can just tell me what to put on my lashes and that will be enough? You think you can just tell me what lipstick to wear and I will just be happy because you told me what shoes to buy? Get out of here. I need more from a man. So if you want to be a male, you want to be a beta male, you want to be a little male, fine. Go be a little male. Go be a beta male. Because obviously in life, you have the big males who become men, and it doesn't have to be big in size. It's just some men. When you become a man, you have accomplished things. Then you become a man. It's with the accomplishment. Is it clear? That's what differs a man from a male. So, of course, a woman can speak on men issues. If a dog had a voice, a dog could speak on men issues. I cannot tell a man how to feel. Of course, I cannot tell a dog how to feel. I cannot tell a woman how to feel. Your feelings are your private chamber thoughts. They go from your heart to your brain to wherever else they go. Those are your private, your possessions. Your feelings are your private possessions. I would never dare step into that track. But in as far as listening to what you say and measuring your manhood because you're talking too much, I can do that. If you don't want me to do that, then stop saying those things. Because according to logic, if you say those things, then they make you look, that's what you come across looking like, acting like. So yes, I can speak on a man's issues because I'm a woman with logic and because the majority of males have lost logic. And because I'm the bearer of males, I give birth to those men babies. So, of course, I will always have a say in raising a man. I can always raise a man. And whenever a woman has the good qualities of life, just as a man should have the good qualities of life, we will continue to raise men and women. But when a man and a woman lose the good qualities of life, then they will no longer be able to raise men and women. They'll be raising males and females. They'll be raising savages. So yes, of course I do. Who else should you? You should not even be talking so much. That's another reason why a woman should be speaking on male matters is because real men don't talk too much. Unless you're an orator like Paul Robeson, you have that type of skills. Unless you're an animator, a man should not be speaking because not all males have that gift. Some of you are just talking chatterboxes, historical boxes. So that's why a woman like me should speak. That's another major reason. Because a lot of you are giving impressions. You're like ink on a t-shirt. At first, it's bright, and pretty soon you'll fade away. Ink on a t-shirt, that's what your men's are. Impressions on a t-shirt. Ink. So you come across to the females who are lost as bright, evolutionary, but at the end of the day, within a year, you fade away because you had no substance. You were just chatterbox male. A lot of these males, chatterbox, talking too much. You see them on Facebook. 50 years old, they are still talking too much. 50 years old, they are on Facebook recruiting lost females to service their lost causes. Homeless, penniless. How dare you people keep talking? It's time for the males to shut up. That is the number one prescription for the healing, is for the males to shut up. We don't need any more rappers. We don't need any more lost MCs. Shut up. We need you to work. We need you to earn wealth. We need you to earn a living. We need you to earn stability. We need you to stay with those children. We need you to put your child at the dinner table and take a spoon, put it in the meal, shove that spoon into the plate, bring it slowly into your child mouth, feed your child, bond with your male child, bond with your female child, and I'll watch you. Okay? Yes, I can tell you what to do because you lost. You have lost your logic. You have lost your train of thought. So, I'm happy to have been with you guys. I've been working all day. I'm working with my local campaign, with my local judicial campaign. It's a lot of work when you're passionate about work. And so as I go into the streets, I see a lot of real men, and I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy because when you go into these barbershops, you are seeing real men with their sons, real men bonding with their sons. Hello, that's what I like to see. But when you come on YouTube, you see a bunch of chatterbox males. They want to tell you, like, listen, just because, and that's why I don't mess with all of that. Because these males, they think they're going to matter to me. You think you can matter to me just because you can tell me what to do with my lashes? Okay, what if I don't want you to do that? Then what is your function to me? Then you become worthless to me. So because these males have not found ways to surpass worthlessness, they have not found ways to go beyond worthlessness. You got to be worth something to somebody. Just because you can tell a woman out loud and talk trash and read a woman, that is not a manly skill. Reading is a womanly possession. Women, and let me tell you the wisdom of the old days, and that's where the wisdom and the healing comes in. The reason why men should not talk too much and women are allowed to chatter is because the chatter is the strength of a woman. The more she can read, the stronger she is at chattering, because a woman is not physically able to fight a man. So when she can chatter, then that's her strength. It's not the physical strength. Now, you have a few females who think they are stronger than male. Okay, maybe a few are, because a few of these males, they are wimps. Of course, you're going to find females who are stronger than you. You are measly 125 pounds. Of course, a lot of females will be stronger than you. But it doesn't take away the fact that generally, and it also mostly in the past as well, the males were mostly with the physical strength. So because of that, the women, we chatter more. So now the males, because they want to excuse their lack of physical strength and their lack of wealth, you have no wealth, you have no physical strength. So don't blame that to say that a woman cannot raise a man. You can say that your mother was probably defective to raise you because she didn't have the proper soil to raise her. You got to step back and take a personal, conscientious look at yourself to really analyze your participation, your contribution in why you are unable. Because not every human will be able. But in the USA, every man thinks he can play basketball. Every man thinks he can rap. Every man thinks he can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. You shut up. That's the healing. The first healing is for you males to shut up. Shut up. If you've never heard a woman tell you to shut up, STFU. Shut up. Like, a lot of you males need to shut up, because when you open your mouth, you bring deception, you bring lies, you bring corruption, you take women down. The reasons why the state of womanhood is down is because the state of manhood is down. When manhood goes down, it takes womanhood with it. It's a direct relationship. And then when womanhood is down, it takes childrenhood with it. So you saw the manhood go down, you saw it. I'm writing a book on it. You'll read it if you forgot it. And then the manhood took the womanhood with it, and the womanhood took the childrenhood with it. So how else was it supposed to go when you faltered? But instead of looking at you see, you, not her, you, not she, you, point at you to say, okay, you, I messed up as a man. And yes, a woman like her, a woman like the Haitian voice, yes, she can tell me what to do. Because I need a woman with logic to tell me what to do. My mother wasn't with logic. My mother could not tell me what to do. But the Haitian voice, she can tell me what to do. Because she has logic. And let me listen to her to heal myself. And I can heal my daughters. And I can heal my sons. Yes, a woman can speak on men factors. When you behave in such ways, I can always open my mouth and say what you just did is out of logic. Whether it could be a kid. If a kid has if you have constant migraine headache, and then you heard a 5-year-old kid is able to cure migraine headaches. You're going to say, well, a 5-year-old kid should not cure migraine headaches because he's 5-year-old? You see how bogus you sound when you say a woman could not raise a man? A defective woman cannot raise a man. A defective man cannot raise a man. A 5-year-old with the gift of healing, yeah. A 5-year-old can heal your migraine headache, yeah. Wisdom comes in all packages and size. But because this culture has been fixated on color, it's been fixated on adjectives. This culture is all about adjectives, adjectives, adjectives. And these adjectives, these are just adjectives. They describe things. But you take these adjectives and you turn them into institutions. You turn them into religions. Come back to silence. I need these males to shut up. That's the number one thing with healing. Shut up. You got to shut up to heal. So shut up. Like, be quiet. You got to shut up. You got to shut up. So you shut up and you look towards Mother Nature for some logic. And you have to tell yourself, hey, if a woman is with logic, of course, as long as a man is with the logic of his manhood, he's always going to be a man. But when a man loses the logic, when a man ceases to fulfill manly functions, then okay, he's lost his logic. So that's done. Once a man loses manly logic, it doesn't matter if a dog raised you, you're done in the men department. You gotta find another description for your manhood, but you cannot come and say, okay, let me tell a woman the banal. Like, you see these men, a lot of these men, Facebook, YouTube, you see them telling women what to eat. You telling a woman what to eat? You should be telling your mother. If you should tell any woman what to eat, it should be your mother. And it should be limited to your mother, your sister, people right next to you, and that's it. Now you're telling women you don't even know what to eat? You're telling women how to do their eyebrows? You're telling women how to do their eyelashes? You're telling women what to put on their bodies? That's what you do as a man? Because you lost your men functions, now you want to take women function? It should be the job of another woman. If anything, if this woman is incapable, another woman should play that role. But you want to hip-hop, skedaddle, and then you want to call that men. That's not a man. You're a hijacker. You're a coward. You forgot your functions. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? You see? Because you forgot your function, you want to throw everything else out of whack. So when you take the place of a woman, what is the woman supposed to do now? Take your place? Swap? You don't get it. I get it. I understand this very well. Yes, of course, women can speak. As long as you bear logic, you can speak on the things that affect you directly and indirectly. Of course, you can speak on many issues. Of course, I cannot tell you how you're feeling. I'm not psychic to your emotions. Okay? But as long as your verbiage, the things that come out of your mouth, the destruction that come out, I can always listen to the destruction and say, hey, that's destruction coming out of your mouth. And I can listen to the destruction and I can say, well, is this intentional destruction? Are you doing this on purpose to ruin every other man around you? Or are you doing this because you get attention from it? Or are you doing this because you paid, that's your job? Maybe you're part of an institution like, government institutions, COINTELPRO, whatever those destructions projects are. Maybe you're part of those projects because there's a lot of YouTubers that are part of these projects. So when I listen to men speak like that, I ask questions of you. All of a sudden, your character is questionable. All of a sudden, your ethics are questionable because I have to find out, is the destruction intentional? Is it deliberate? Because if it is deliberate, then we have to ask, are you a paid agent? It's a lot of questions that I will ask about you, and I'm inviting other women to get into logic. Let's begin to serve logic. Let's serve the laws of logic. Let's follow the laws of logic. They are universal laws. Let's follow the laws of logic. I'm inviting other women because when you follow the laws of logic, it's very hard to be duped. It's very hard to step out of character because logic is your boundary. That is your frontier. That is your MapQuest. That is your GPS into life, is logic. All right, yeah, a woman can definitely speak on any issue where she is qualified to speak on, and if she's not qualified, she should also shut up. All right? I'm inviting the men to shut up. Shut up and begin to understand logic. Begin to understand when you are out of logic. There are questions that should not even be such major divides. You have to understand in the black community, supposedly, African American community, this is a major divide where it's like men are saying, or women cannot raise men, or women cannot raise a man, and it's like a major divide when it should not even be up for discussion. The discussion should be, are those women qualified to raise men? Are those males qualified to raise men? Are they qualified to raise women? Are they qualified to raise babies? Are those womb safe to raise babies? Because we have to start from the womb. So if there was any logic to it would have started from the womb. All right, guys? Hey, there's a holiday weekend going on, guys. There's a holiday weekend going on right now. Happy holidays to everybody. I'm going to continue to work through the weekend. This is an exciting moment. Being part of campaigns is one of my most favorite things to do, and I've been doing this since I was a young kid, and now I get to involve my own kids into community life. I've been doing this for a long time, so this is like, for people like me, this is like the champagne season, where it's the celebration because you get to actually go to communities, you get to actually see the work, you get to actually see the fruit of your labors, you get to actually live through it. So we are excited about community work. People like us keep communities alive, people like us keep communities safe, people like us keep inspiring young people. I have always loved to do this work, so I'm back at it. I'm happy. I wish you all happy holiday weekend. Please don't forget to find my vlog. It's on YouTube. It's Black Men Tonic. It's for healing. I have given you so many healing points, and we will continue. This will be uploaded to my website, which is blackmentonic.com. You can watch this again. You can share it. It will also be uploaded on this channel. Have a happy holidays, guys. I'm having the best time of my life as usual. Bye-bye.